This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey Net Control Station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Before we start the net, I'm going to take the pause? Sure. The pause for any traffic, and then we'll start the net. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Mike. Good afternoon, Jerry. Good afternoon, Green. Okay, Mike, back to you.
Yeah, 7 APW, your net control for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. I'd like to welcome everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. And I'd like to tell you that the net meets every 2 weeks on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Malta time, so that we can say hello to each other, pass any information, or answer any questions that we can during the net. And in general, just say hello to each other, make sure we're all doing well. And if somebody needs some help, hopefully we can help them. So, this is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. We're connected to the 9H1 UHF-R repeater, the 9H1 DMR. Net with a short pause. Another piece cookie. All right, enough of that. Serious now. Okay, this is November 7. I can't keep a straight face today. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey Net Control Station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. The local time is some minutes after 12 noon in Wyoming and some minutes after 8 p.m. In Central Europe and Malta, of course. I'd like to take check-ins now. Please give your call sign phonetically and give it slow. I am getting old. And please leave a pause of 5 seconds between check-ins so that any repeaters can reset or whatever needs to be done. And I think that if I try to talk less than 2 minutes at any go, I think we won't time out any repeaters at all. So, here we go. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey Net Control Station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. And boy, I'm talking fast today. I will now take check-ins. And 7 APW standing by.
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, please check in. Kilo Charlie 1, November Oscar Charlie. KC1 and OC via Echo Link. The name is David, QTH, Sherman, Maine.
Net control, this is 9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra. 9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra. The name is Charles in Malta.
This is Whiskey Bravo 4 Papa Victor Tango WB4 PVT Charlie. Over.
Hotel 5, 9, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Mike. Good afternoon, Jerry. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Okie dokie. Thank you for the check-ins. We have so far 4 check-ins. KC1NOC, Dave, I hope that you're between weather systems at least, and hopefully they're not beating you up. Dave lives in Maine, and he can tell you all about it. 9H1FBS, Charlie, good evening. WB4PVT, Charlie, and I hope you're not getting too much bad weather. And 9 Hotel 5, Fox Mike, France. Any other checklists for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet? Come now, please. When I press the button.
Golf Zero, Bravo, India Alpha. The name's Ian, QDH Musk by the Sea on the northeast coast of England. I'm just calling in and calling out. I say a very good evening to everybody. Good evening to Jerry, Charles and David and the ones I've heard on Echolink. It was my pleasure to talk to 9 Hotel 1 Alpha Juliet this afternoon over there in Floriana on WhatsApp. I'm trying very hard to get him to remember how to use Echolink and get on. It's a hard task, HI. We've had a bit of help offered from 9 Hotel 1 Juliet Lima, but so far we have not progressed very far. So there we are, gents. My interest in Malta, as some of you will know, is serving there and holidaying many times between 2009 and 2017. So with that, I'd like to wish everybody health, happiness, enjoy the rest of the net this evening. Thanks, Jerry, for starting it. One suggestion I might make is call in by country, you know, so call in from the States and call in from Malta and then the UK. Perhaps that might help you get people in who are rather hesitant at calling in. Number 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey with the Maltese net, Golf Zero, Bravo, India Alpha. Saha, gentlemen, see you next time. Al-Elasayam.
Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, second gear. Hotel 1 Tango Lima, this is Chris, QTH for me in Malta.
Okie dokie. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. I think I know. And your suggestion is noted. We'll have to try it. It sounds like fun. Any other check? Excuse me. Any other check-ins at this point in time for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet? Okay, you'll be pleased to know that I finished my cookies now. Like that matters any. And let's go and do a round and see what's happening in everybody's world. How about we start with you, Dave? Thanks for checking in. I know you've been battered by some bad weather and maybe some more coming your way. Yeah, like I say, it is winter, so it's expected, but I'll let you tell everybody what's been going on with you. KC1NOC, welcome to the net once again, November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
Okay, November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. This is KC1NOC. Good afternoon, everybody. It's afternoon for me. Good evening to you. It's good to be back. I've had a lot going on here in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Recently, within the last week, I have caught the COVID-19. I have been fully vaccinated with my booster shots. I live in the middle of nowhere, and I'm very protective of myself and others, wear the mask when I go out. And somehow it caught up with me. But I am on the road to recovery. My fever is gone. Congestion is clearing out of my lungs. I do feel like I have been beaten up in my stomach and abdomen area from coughing my brains out. Literally coughing constantly has just made me sore all over. But enough of that. We're getting better, so I'm back. Jerry, the cookies, yes. You are talking fast, but you're making perfect sense, so that's a good thing. We are expecting a major storm in here sometime this afternoon shortly. It's going to dump anywhere from 12 to 16 inches of snow on us. It's going to start out as ice and then move on to powdery snow and then heavy wet snow at the end of the storm. So we're going to have a big fat mess, but that's okay. It is wintertime here in northern Maine, so we just have to press on regardless. Anyways, it's a real pleasure to be with all you fine gentlemen in Malta. And with that, I'll hand it back to Net Control. This is KC1NOC.
I'm sorry to hear that you had COVID, but I'm also happy to hear that it hasn't beaten you up too much. And yeah, they're now saying here that even though you have the vaccines, there's a good possibility that just about everybody's going to catch some version of it, but hopefully it won't beat you up too bad, or a lot less than if you didn't have the vaccine. But it's everybody's personal choice and everybody's personal decision, and life goes on. And good on the weather, Dave. Just stay inside and rest. It does beat us all up, especially us folks that are over 60. Yeah. And I have to watch it because it's not 5 o'clock yet, but it is 5 o'clock somewhere, so we'll see. Okay, thank you for checking into the net, Dave. It's always nice to hear your voice, and please stay safe, and I wish you the best recovery and the fastest one. All right, who do we have now? Oh, my brother Charlie. Charlie, 9H1FBS. What's happening in your world? This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet.
Okay, very good evening from Slima. Boy, oh boy, we had a week, huh? I'll let the other guys tell you about it, but we had some very high winds, and it was up to the point that one would not venture in on the front, on the Slima seafront there. It's winter, as you say, but it seems that Frar ifawar il-bjar. February fills the wells. So there you go. So I'll keep quiet, listen to the others. I'm sure that everyone has a story to say or to tell. Over here it did not hail, but I know that there are other parts of Malta where it's hailed during the early part of the week. S7APW 9H1FDS with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet.
Yeah, very good, Charlie. 9H1 FBS with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. This is N7APW. Let me give a pause here so that we can make sure all the repeaters and connections are reset. Okay, moving along. That sounded like a tongue twister, Charlie. No, I'm just kidding. Frar ifawar il-bjar, I think. That sounded good to me. Okay, let's see who's next. Charlie, it's you. Whiskey Bravo 4, Papa Victor Tango. Good afternoon to you. I hope everything in your world is going well, and thanks for checking in again to the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Go ahead, please.
Hi, this is WB4PVT. Everything's going fairly well here. I don't want to upset Dave, but right now it's 63 degrees here, 17 Celsius, and tomorrow's going to be a little bit warmer, but we're going to have rain. So I think, as I mentioned last time, I'm far enough north that I don't catch the hot summer and far enough south that I don't catch the cold winter. But I was telling my wife, we have been very, very fortunate that we haven't really had any tornadoes or anything else here or heavy snow. In fact, the snow just barely covered the area. President of the local club, he also came down with COVID, but he had a runny nose, and I think he was sneezing. He did not lose his sense of taste or smell, and he did feel like he was beat up a bit. He made it a doctor's appointment, and prior to the doctor's appointment, he went and got a test that came back positive, so they canceled the doctor's appointment. We had our first club meeting in person last night, which was really nice. As for my trip to Malta, my daughter and I go to the travel agent tomorrow to set the date on that. And back to the COVID. By the way, the mask doesn't protect you, it protects other people. And the vaccine it won't keep you from getting it, but it just helps your body fight it off so it won't be that bad. And also about Malta, I have some FRS radios. Does anybody know if they're legal there in Malta? Over.
Okay, very good, Charlie. What are those frequencies that those radios transmit on, Charlie? Go ahead.
It's UHF 460 something. If you Google FRS radios, it's one that we use over here. You don't need a license. You don't need a call sign. And I think they're only about maybe a half a watt. And they just run off of AA batteries. They don't have much of a range to them, but I'm not sure of the frequency. I just know it's up in the 462 or somewhere like that. Over.
Yeah, very good, Charlie. Let's put the question out. FRS is the family radio service here, and it doesn't need a license. It operates around anywhere between 462 megahertz and 463 megahertz. The radios are normally somewhere around half a watt. Of course, if you have terrain like Malta, you can go in a high spot like I would think. Let's see here, Imdina, and you can have quite a range. I bet you can still talk all the way to St. Paul's Bay and even further, Shamshia perhaps, or go up toward Dia, and other places, of course. Does anybody know if there is a frequency allocation within that frequency range that's allotted to just low power transmitters just for use for fun? This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, and the net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet.
So this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. I think I can provide some information on that query regarding FRS. The FRS is the American Family Radio Service, which, as you say correctly, transmits at UHF around 462 megahertz. Now that frequency is not license free in Europe. In Europe, we have 446 megahertz, and we call them PMR 446, or private mobile radio 446. And actually, there's a range between 446.0 and 446.2, which are free. We can have digital and analog modes on 446. So 446.0 till 446.1 is allocated to analog, and 446.1 to 446.2 is allocated to digital mode transmission. I believe recently, so there are actually 8 channels spread out in 0.1 megahertz. Recently, I think there are another additional 8 channels which have become license-free, spread in the digital mode. So you can have 16 analog channels between 446.0 to 446.2, and 8 analog channels with a narrower spacing. 8 digital channels with a narrower spacing between 446.1 and 446.2. I'm not 100% sure on that, but as far as I know, that's it. But what I'm sure of is that it has to be 446 megs, not 462 or 463. And 446 are license-free, maximum power half a watt. The antenna is supposed to be non-removable, and it's license-free practically all over Europe, including Malta. Not sure. I hope that sort of answers your question. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, very good, Anthony. 9H5FA with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Old habits never die. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. There's an answer for you, Charlie. And of course, 446 megahertz is a part of our ham bands too. And I'm sure that a lot of our radios can operate half a watt. So I think that might be our answer with maybe a bit more information or research, but that's why we're here to help. Let me pass it over back to you, Charlie. WB4 PVT with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
I appreciate the information. These radios, there has a very short range, and they're very, very inexpensive. I think you can get them for maybe $10 or $15, and I've seen them at Hamfest, people selling used ones for just $1, like €1. So it's not much to them. It's nice if you've got a family group and you're at an amusement park or some festival, and you can talk to them a lot easier than using a cell phone. That's the main purpose of it. And I did look up the PMR radio, and I saw the frequencies on that. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope to meet up with the Maltese hams when I get there, maybe in March. This is WB4 PVT Clear.
Okay, very good, Charlie. And if you have any more questions, we'd love to help you. And thank you to Anthony for that information. Always good to know. Always good to know. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey. The sugar's leaving me now. Net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Franz, good evening to you. Thank you for checking into the net. 9 Hotel 5, Fox Mike. What's going on in your world today? November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
I say good afternoon to you again. Okay, actually I don't have much to say, but I've been a long time. No, I don't speak on here because I had a problem. Actually, not a big problem, but I thought there's a big problem because I had the connection to the power supply. It was damaged. It was damaged. So I changed it with the help of our colleagues here on the line, and I solved it. That's why I didn't make contact with you. So about 2 days ago we had a windstorm here, and the wind it makes damage my other antenna, but still I'm working with it because I took out the other part and I fixed it with the arm of the balcony. So I'm working with it now. Okay, Jerry. Yes, okay, Jerry. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Mike. Mike, back to you, my friend.
Okay, very good. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey Net Control Station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. You sound very resourceful, and you adapt to the changes that life handles you, and that's absolutely great, Franz. It's nice to hear you. There's a slight white noise on you, but you're 100% computable, very clear, very clean, and thank you for joining us for the net this evening. And always nice to hear someone with a smile on their face. It makes my day. Let's see if there are any other check-ins before I continue down the list. Am I ready? Yes, I'm ready. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Any more check-ins?
This is 9 Hotel 5, Uniform Sierra, mobile. 9 Hotel 1, Sugar Fox. 9 Hotel 1, Sugar Fox. Operator Steven, standing by. Net control, this is 9 Hotel 5, Foxtrot Alpha. Just a short notification on check-ins. Until a few minutes ago, there was someone checked in on Echolink, which I've seen in front of me. Kilo Yankee 4 Delta Zulu. The name is Dennis. He's been logged in since the beginning of the net, but he just logged off now. Not sure if he was planning to connect to the net or not, but he's not there anymore. If you want to listen down, it's
Kilo Yankee 4 Delta Zulu. And the name, at least, which appears on Echolink is Dennis. Delta Echo November India Sierra. Back to you, net control. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that, Anthony. All righty. Any other check-ins right now? I did get the other check-ins, and I'll call them out in a minute. But any other check-ins right now for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet?
Uniform Sierra.
Righty, I have checked in 9H5US and 9H1 Sugar Fox, Stephen, and possibly KY4DZ, but we didn't hear his voice. So let's see where I dropped off. Franz was the last one who said hello. Ian checked in and checked out, and so now it's time for 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha. Take it away, Anthony, before I stumble on my own tongue. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. I'm thinking I'm enough trying to say already, I think. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you for being technically and scientifically correct, Jerry, when you said that you are over 20. All of us are over 20, including myself. So you've been perfectly correct. You didn't have to be more specific than that. Another thing, I'd like to apologize for sending off the notifications rather late this time round. I sent them out this morning and in Malta time. Somehow, I'm not sure why they just escaped my to-do list. And this morning I just realized I hadn't sent those out yet. So I did it quickly this morning. And I did it while we had the power failure, operating my laptop on battery power and using mobile data to be able to connect to the net. But anyway, they went out. Sorry about that. Back to you, net control. I don't think I have anything more to add. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Yeah, very good. 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Well, I'm curious to know who got licensed at the youngest age. We'll have to go around that. Around that, maybe. You know, I got licensed when I was 2 days short of my 21st birthday, and my first call sign was 9 Hotel 1 Echo Fox. And so, yeah, I wonder. You know, I used to teach ham radio classes too, and the youngest licensed ham that graduated out of my class was 8.5 years old, and he was good on the radio too. He could teach me a few things. He always carried pen and paper because logs had just been we'd been just told that logs aren't necessary anymore. Although I still like to keep a log today. It's an old habit that'll never die. All righty, this is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Reminiscing a little, but it's always fun. And let's see, who is next? 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima. Chris, I hope you're doing well this evening, and I hope everything's working in your world, including the electricity. Because apparently we're having ice storms all around 2/3 of the U.S., and obviously the ice forms on the power lines, and then the power lines get too heavy and they break. And the people, unfortunately, lose electricity when they need it the most, when it's cold. 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Good evening on 7 APW.
November 7 APW, this is 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima. Thank you, Jerry, for hosting this night. I'm talking through the UHF repeater. Wishing David, KC1 and OC, a speedy recovery. I remember to charge my HT this time. Last time that was an issue. I confirm my subscription to the email reminder via the 9H YouTube page link that works. Since it appeared on my Google Calendar. So thanks to 9H5FA Anthony for notifying me to the net last time. A small note about PMR. I work at Mater Dei Hospital here in Malta. We happen to use PMR for our COVID patients. We have a degree of separation. So to communicate with the staff across the screen, we actually use PMR radios. They are very limited range, so just across the corridor you won't be able to hear them, but within the same hall, you could obviously hear them clearly. I happened to try out PMR radio while driving around town here in Ormy, and you pick up some interesting things as well. Mostly shopping stuff, communicating with backroom staff. But basically, yes, PMR is used quite widely here for commercial use. That's really all I have to say for now. Over to Net Control and 7 APW. This is 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima.
Okay, very good, Chris. 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Yeah, I would imagine that in a hospital environment, especially, they don't want any loose RF to be running around because of all the electronic equipment and everything else that's running at the same time at any point in any area of the hospital. Incidentally, if anybody, you or anybody, is interested in amateur radio DMR, even on this net, I can see at least, let's see how many. Myself, Dave, Charlie, FBS, and 9H5FA, Anthony. I think there may be others who are on DMR. If you're ever interested, I'm sure we can give you an idea. A lot of the radios aren't that terribly expensive, somewhere in the $80, $90 range. And then if you choose to get a hotspot, instead of use the 9H1 DMR repeater that's available on the island, there's another equivalent cost. And so for anything, for somewhere around $200, you can set up on DMR, and I happen to love it. It's because it's the closest thing to shortwave. And I love shortwave. I still listen to shortwave radio, actually, and I don't have an antenna outside. I do have HF equipment, but hopefully maybe this spring I'll put at least a dipole up because the HF bands are just opening up very nicely. This is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. I think there is a class going on for ham radio. I happened to mention teaching one a bit earlier. And any information that any of the clubs may have is always welcome here. It's always nice to know what's going on in your neighborhood and on your islands. 9 Hotel 5, United States. That's a nice call sign. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Good evening. I don't remember your name, and I apologize about that, but I'm sure you can update me on that. 9H5 US with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet and 7 APW. Good evening to you. Okay, 9H5US, are you still around? N7APW with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Okay, hearing nothing. 9 Hotel 1 Sugar Fox. Stephen, how are you doing tonight? November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, this is 9 Hotel 1 Sugar Fox. Good evening to everybody on the repeater, on DMR, and also on Jitsi there, 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Mike, 9 Hotel 1 Mike Delta, and 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Okay, very good, Jerry there, no problem. Good evening from our side anyway. I just came in not very long ago, so I'm just starting up the computer now and the radio, put the radio on straight away. So I'll be on a few minutes time. And also regards there to Dave, I can't remember his call sign at the moment. I hope for speedy recovery also. And I did also send him an email. Maybe he did not see it, but I did send him an email also there. But anyway, not to worry. Not to worry. I hope everything's okay. Your side, Jerry? And we were saying, we had some high winds the past couple of days now, but hopefully it will start to die down. Now. So, yeah. But anyway. Okay, microphone back to you. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. I will be back on again shortly, but I'll be listening in the background there. So, microphone back to you, Jerry.
Okay, before you run away, you gave me 9 Hotel 1 Mike Delta, yourself, and Anthony on Jitsi. I think there was another one. Who was that? Stephen, go ahead.
Jerry, it's 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Mike, Francis. So you have myself, there's Francis, 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Mike, 9 Hotel 1 Mike Delta, Mario, and 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, Anthony. So that's the people at the moment on Jitsi this evening. So I'll pass the microphone back to you, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, 9 Hotel 1 Sugar Fox.
Well, thank you for that, Stephen. Thank you very much for everything. Thanks for checking in. Very good indeed. Yeah, I was watching one of the live cams on Malta at Cherkawa. Was it earlier today or yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And as soon as the ferry goes out from Cherkawa, you could tell that the wind was blowing. But I bet you it's a nice ride too. I used to do that long time ago when the you wanted me to date myself when the MV Gilland was still around. And I used to pick a stormy day and take a ride on the ferry between Malta and Gozo, and obviously the way back as well. And sometimes they used to go around Kamuna one way, and then when they came back, they went around the other way, which was kind of fun. And sometimes they actually, I think at the time it was still Marfa where they docked, and sometimes Marfa was bad, and they'd go to either, I think it was somewhere like St. Paul's Bay, Shamshia, somewhere around there, if I remember right. It's been a very long time. I've been missing from the island for at least 43 years, so it's been a while. Okay, this is November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening's session of the 9H-HAM Global Net with a few memories, and that's always good. Let's see, are there any other check-ins for the net this evening? And you know, my sincere apologies, Mario. I forgot to say hello to you. Thank you for listening on Jitsi to the net, and thank you for the check-in as well via 9H1 Sugar Flux. Does anybody have anything else for the net this evening? I'll give a pause here. My mouse went to sleep. There we go. I'll give a pause here and see if there's any other traffic information, questions, queries, whatever. I suppose questions and queries are the same thing. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
This is W4 PVT.
Charlie, go ahead.
This is W4PVT. Anthony, 9H-5FA. I sent you an email. I looked up these PMR radios. It looks like I can pick up 2 of them for like $23 US, which is fairly inexpensive. Just want to be sure that this is license-free, that we don't need a license. It'd be good for my daughter and I in case we decide to go off in 2 different directions close by, that we can communicate a lot easier. So when you see the email, just let me know if that's what I'm really looking for. Over.
Anthony, go ahead.
This is 9H-5FA. Okay, Charlie, I got your email. Seeing it now. All right. The one, yeah. Let me open the link. These are license-free. The ones you sent are license-free. You've sent, but you can actually find. I mean, these are programmable with and without a display. You can actually also find fairly cheap ones, which you don't need a computer to program, and although these might be pre-programmed with the 16 PMR channels, I guess they are pre-programmed probably because they're advertised as 16 channel license free. These are license free in Malta. The only, well, we're not going to come across any problems whatsoever. But that particular brand, which you sent me a link of, well, according to European documentation, although there are loads of those radios in Malta, first of all. I mean, okay, so you're not going to have any problems with those for sure. But apparently, that brand doesn't satisfy CE certification, although the company claims that they do. There have been some issues, not in Malta, about that brand not full. I mean, so it's probably, I mean, get some spurious frequencies or something like that, but it's just paperwork. And there are several people who have that brand of radio in Malta without any problems whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, they're just $23 each. But that frequency is I confirm that, yeah, that frequency is license free. You can just sort of charge them up and use them. Back to you. This is 9 Hotel 5 Fox Hotel.
Basically, as long as you have the money, you can walk into a store on Malta and get the radios, and Bob's your uncle. Is that right?
I doubled with you at the beginning. Say again.
Well, I was just asking Anthony. So you know, you can go to a bunch of stores on Malta, and as long as you have the money, you can get these family radios. Is that right, Anthony?
This is 9 Hotel 5 Fox Hotel 5. Yes, that is correct. There are stores in Malta which sell these radios, and they sell brands which are CE certified, but they'll be a bit more expensive than these. I mean, they're usually in the range of around €100 for a pair. So 80 to 90. You can get 80 to 90 euros ones as well. Cobra ones, for example, or Motorola ones. Yeah, I can reply with an email. I can reply to your email, Charlie, if you want to, and give you some links to some couple of shops in Malta which sell them. But the ones you sent me, which are half the price, you can. I mean, you won't find any problems with using, to be honest. I mean, the low power device, and there are several people who buy that particular brand and use them. I've seen that brand used on official private security officers within supermarket establishments. I've seen that exactly that same brand. So I'm sure we'll find a problem. But I will reply to your email and I'll give you a couple of links of local places where you can buy one, and then it's sort of you can choose. Back to you. This is 9 Hotel 5 Fox Hotel.
This is W4PVT. QSL, the Bufon is not a very good radio. I believe that here in the States, the Federal Communication Commission said that they weren't authorized because they hadn't passed the test. They're cheap Chinese radios. I don't want to spend any more than about $35 or $40 for two of them because I'm only going to use it for 2 weeks. So I will look for your email and appreciate the information. This is W4PVT Claire.
Okie dokie, very good. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, net control station for this evening session of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Does anybody have any other traffic for the net? Are there any other check-ins or anything else for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet this evening? And 7 APW standing by.
9H1FBS with a comment on maybe a suggestion.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Charlie, please note that the wall sockets here are different from the States. So I'm going to pass it over to Jerry because he sent me some stuff here. Like the charger of the radio, and the hotspot, etc. So you have to buy not a converter. What do they call that? An adapter, so that it could fit in to the Maltese wall socket, the electricity wall socket. If you want to bring you're going to bring your mobile phone with you, so you have to have the necessary gear so you could charge it again. I'm sorry I didn't tell you this before, but I've just remembered. So, I'm over 20 as well. And 7 APW, 9H1FBS.
This is W4PVT. I just got one a couple of weeks ago and been testing them. The two radios I was looking at actually hooks up to the USB port, not to a wall receptacle. So as far as power goes, I'm set and ready to go. Over.
Bennett.
Papa Whiskey, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Mike. 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. With a small comment regarding check-ins, please.
The net this evening? Anything else?
Net control, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. With a small comment regarding an additional check-in, please.
Absolutely, Anthony, go ahead.
Well, I've got Echolink launched in front of me, and for a fairly long length of time, there was someone new logged in. It was 9 Hotel 1 Uniform Golf. I thought he was going to check in, but a few minutes ago he just logged off. 9 Hotel 1 Uniform Golf. Perhaps you would like to add him to the list of check-ins. He's been on Echolink for, I guess about 30 minutes. Unit control, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
I'll have them checked in, but you know, it's just like people listening to the 9H1 UHF or 9H1 DMR repeater. You know, they don't feel like checking in, then we'll never know they were there. So that's how I treat those as well. But I'll check them in, and thank you for the information. This is 9H1. No, this is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey net control station for this evening session of the 9H-HAM Global Net. I might get fired after today's net. I started out well, and here we go. Oh, my goodness. Is there anything else for the net this evening?
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, this is 901 Sugar Fox. Just a quick note to Charlie there. Can't remember his call sign. I sent you an email. I know you're coming over to Malta maybe in March. I sent you an email also about the club up in Mtarfa, the radio club up in Mtarfa there, Charlie. I don't know if you received the email from me. This is 9 Hotel 1 Sugar Fox.
I'm checking the email right now.
All righty, very good, Charlie. Anything else for the net this evening?
Or if not, I will resend it to you. I'll find your email address and I will send it back to you, no problem.
QSL, stub B4 PVT clear.
Yeah, if I come back to Malta, I'd want to see the club right out at Mtarfa there. Probably one of the highest points on the island. And there are antennas up there too. Oh boy, you know, at one point in time I wanted to have a house at Mdina and a beam. Oh my goodness. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey net control station for this evening session of the 9H-HAM Global Net. And if I hear nothing after this pause, I will close the net and we'll go on from there. Hearing nothing. This is N7APW, net control station for this evening session of the 9H-HAM Global Net. I'd like to thank everybody who checked in. According to my fingers, toes, and other pieces of equipment, we had 13 check-ins this evening. And I'd like to thank everybody for checking in, invite everybody to check in again 2 weeks from today at 8 p.m. local time on Malta, 2 p.m. Eastern U.S. time for another edition of the 9H-HAM Global Net. I'd like to thank all the repeater trustees and everybody else who has made this net possible. Thank you very much, and thank you for the use of the repeaters, and it's time. I'd like to invite everybody to check in 2 weeks, and in the meantime, I'd like to wish everybody a very good evening, and we'll hear you soon. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey closing the 9H-HAM Global Net. 73s, and good day.